All right, welcome back, guys, to another episode. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like button and subscribe. And if you're coming back for the second, third, fifth, 17th time, thank you for joining us again. Today we have my good friend Keith Waldrop from Asymmetric Solutions and our hometown boy Cam Janssen here. And we're going to talk a little bit about, Keith, what you do down at Asymmetric. And then what I wanted to do is kind of a surprise to you both, is get into a little conspiracy theory stuff.
Okay.
This is Cam's wheelhouse. And if there's a guy that knows about different parts of the world, I figure it's probably you. So we'll let him dive into something, because this Sahara Desert thing I've never heard about.
He might not be into that. Like that's kind of deep stuff where maybe the Los Atlantis would be. It's all good, but I know that he was in the desert. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, out there, and I'm kind of curious on what he went through and maybe what he saw, and maybe some of the historic things that weren't blown up at the time that he went through. And you know, you never know, right? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
He kind of put me on a spot on that, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
That's Corey for you right there.
Little chaos.
Little chaos, and we don't care.
So, Keith, why don't you tell us what Asymmetric is, how you got into it, and let's start with your background, how you got into Asymmetric.
So grew up small town, southern Missouri, right here, just south of Farmington, small town called Caledonia. Graduating class 28, give you an idea how small town it is. I was a 9/11 kid, so 9/11 happened. I'd already planned on joining the military, was already talking to recruiters, and was just waiting. And then 9/11 occurred and ran off and joined. Ended up joining the Marine Corps, went the Force Recon route, which was the Marine Special Operations capability at that time. Spent my first 6 years as Recon, Force Recon, and then the Raider community stood up, which was MARSOC. Those of you who don't know, MARSOC is Marine Special Operations Command. I was one of the plank holders of MARSOC, became a Raider, finished out my time as a Raider, and then got out, Hail Mary to application to WashU Business School. Got my graduate degree in business from WashU, and then jumped in bed with my partner John with Asymmetric Solutions.
Right on. And what do you guys, oh, go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Explain you're a 9/11 boy, because I feel like I am too, as far as...
You're the same age.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We're the same age. That rocked the country more than anything in anybody's lifetime, including guys that were born way back when.
Sure.
9/11 was the biggest thing, besides COVID now, was the biggest thing going. I feel like we were as united as our country has been in a long time, right after 9/11, when George Bush, who we have complaints about, and we could talk about that, whatever, but he threw that first pitch out in Yankee Stadium, right, with all his, he had it, you know, he was covered up, he had snipers, and I think our country was the most united then. So as a 9/11 boy, I get what you're saying, just in case anybody didn't know that.
No. Yeah, I was in English class when it happened. Like we
all know.
Wheel the TV in.
Yep, so did we. I was in Canada.
Yeah. Well, you guys are both juniors at that time, right?
Senior.
Senior too?
Yeah, I forgot. See, my high school was kind of like convoluted with hockey and stuff like that.
Well, I graduated in 02. We're all about
02, baby. Yep.
Oh,
same
okay.
thing.
02.
Oh, okay. You're younger than me in age. You're both 84 guys.
Yeah, 84.
Yeah,
84. But yeah, 9/11 rocked us, man. So just in case people didn't understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the younger generation, that was the first attack on American soil since like Civil War. Or no, I guess Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes forget about the unattached too.
Yeah.
Small scale attacks on stuff offshore and stuff.
Yeah.
Largest.
It's hard to attack us, I would say.
Yeah.
With these cats doing their thing,
right.
You know.
Well, even,
technology.
Even guys like you get too deep into the country.
Well, if somebody tried to invade our country, it would be a very difficult situation for them.
Yeah.
Because if they come through Missouri, everybody's armed, and we would understand that we have to hunker down and take care of business. So it'd be a very difficult operation for any country to take over the United States.
Right.
On a ground game, I would say. Am I wrong on that?
No, 100% right.
Yeah.
It'd be no different than Afghanistan. It'd be an insurgency forever.
There it is.
Yeah. And if you don't feel equipped to protect yourself, protect your family, protect your loved ones,
there it is.
Asymmetric can help with that, right? What's some of the classes you
man.
You like that segue?
Yeah, you like that? That's good.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's a nice plug. Appreciate
I
it.
gotta say though, like I went down there and my parents always had weapons. They took me hunting. I was playing hockey so much, but I came down and visited you with Twister and Soupy and the boys, and we hung out, and I just got so much more comfortable with my weapon, know how to do it, know how to place it, always keep the safety, whatever the case is. Sometimes they don't have a safety. I learned so much going down there. I'm so much more comfortable when there's a home invasion, which might not happen, but at least I know what I'm doing. And that's the biggest part. I feel a lot more comfortable. And the next thing is I want to get my wife to go down there and figure it out too, just so we know. Yep. And I think a lot of people need to understand that too, because The world's crazy. We live out here, and that's fine. But people that live in South City and whatnot, there's home invasions all the time, and or you like to hunt. I don't care what it is. To learn how to use a weapon, it just makes you a lot more comfortable with that whole situation where a lot of people are turned off by it. If you learn how to use it, you won't be.
There's a big difference in shooting a gun and knowing how to fight with a gun. Big difference. So it's, again, shooting cans in your backyard growing up is very different than learning how to properly de-escalate and escalate and then manipulate a weapon system properly throughout an engagement. So very different skill sets.
So so explain that. So, okay, so if we're talking to the ordinary person that they want to know how to combat whatever happens, and maybe it maybe not happen ever in their lifetime, but you still want to know. Just like learning how to learn jujitsu, you learn how to use a weapon. Like, explain to somebody their first 3 steps that they would need to know to defend themselves.
Very first thing is understanding that a weapon is your absolute last resort. That's the very first thing to understand right out of the gate. It's your absolute last resort. So I don't want to expose my weapon, utilize my weapon, unless I'm in a position where I'm potentially going to lose my life, my family's going to lose their life, or something like that, which is where escalation of force and force on force scenarios come into play. So anybody that comes down there and trains with us, one of the first things they're required to do as part of the process is take a force on force class, which is driving home what I just told you, is the understanding that even if you're carrying a gun, you have to understand that gun is your last resort. It should not be your go-to immediately for any engagement that you get into. It's your absolute last resort. And understanding escalation and exposing yourself to stress inoculation, which is putting you in various scenarios of engagement with elevated heart rate, verbal communications, physical altercations, and then ramping it up to a point to where you're forced into a weapon systems, engagement, is what you have to do to yourself to be able to prepare yourself for those types of engagements. So it's just the reality of it. So first thing is understand that a weapon system is there as an absolute last resort, and that's the first thing. Also realizing that just because you can, again, shoot your gun and hit a can in your backyard does not mean that you have the ability to remove your weapon system from concealed carry position and engage under a high-stress situation.
You might hurt somebody else.
You can hurt lots of people.
Your neighbor, whatnot.
So understand how to properly manipulate the weapon, utilize the weapon, and understand the environmental factors around you once a weapon is pulled. What a lot of people don't realize is most engagements only have a small amount of witnesses that are occurring that are in the vicinity of the engagement. And if you end up in a position where you have to defend yourself or your family and that weapon system is out, and then another concealed carrier rounds the corner, hadn't seen what just happened, you got a gun out and somebody's on the ground.
You're the threat.
You're the threat.
Exactly.
And next thing you know, you end up shot and something like that. So understanding that engaging is your last resort, followed by, once you engage, understanding the reality of the environment that you're in and how to properly deal with that situation and what to do with your weapon system and what to do with the surrounding bystanders. And then 3, understanding ballistics is a huge one. So, the weapon safety rules are treat, never keep, keep, no. I treat every weapon as if it's loaded, even if I've shirted on to be loaded.
Exactly.
I never point my weapon at anything I not intend to shoot. Keep my weapon unsafe until I intend to fire. Keep my finger straight off the trigger until I intend to fire. And the last one is the one everybody negates, and that is, I will know my target and consider its background, because bullets fly through things.
Exactly.
So what most people in the real world don't understand is, in the event that they end up in engagement, once I pull my gun out, it doesn't matter if you're shooting hollow points or you're shooting full metal jacket or whatever, 99% of the time, fragmentation or the bullet itself is going to pass through that person. And understand that people behind them, your kids behind them, your family behind them, innocent bystanders around you is a reality. So when you're learning how to fight with a gun, being able to take in that environmental realities and maneuver yourself to a position to minimize the potential casualties or collateral damage associated with that engagement. So for example, I end up in a position where I have to bring my weapon system out and engage because my kids, my wife, myself is in
They
fear of
come
my
in your
life.
house or whatever the case is.
Having the wherewithal to understand, say, for example, there's people behind them in this engagement, I can see that. Understanding the ballistics and understanding the reality of that bullet potentially passing through your opponent could give you the slight second to think and go, if I drop to a knee to engage, now I'm shooting at an upward angle to where I can go ahead and I can eliminate this threat without creating a threat to the people behind me. So
you're shooting up, so you still have the angle. You can still, and
it takes a fraction of a second. It also, anytime you're moving or you have an opponent, especially if they have a weapon system, incorporating movement into your engagement minimizes or increases the minimization of potential damage to your soul.
Most people that come down and get training, what are they worried about the most? Is it home engagement, or is it going to a concert in maybe St. Louis or whatever, maybe high danger areas where you're going to a restaurant where they're conceal and carry? It would be more home invasion, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's home invasion is obviously a concern for a lot of people, but not as much as just being in a position to where they feel vulnerable with their family with them. So most people want to have the confidence in knowing that if something bad happens when their family is together as a unit,
Could be anywhere.
could be anywhere.
Cardinal game, Blues game, whatever.
Exactly. That they have the ability to defend their family from a potential aggressor. And that's probably the biggest fear that we hear across the board.
So with home invasion, though, one of the things that I understand to be important because of how I grew up with people I grew up with, and something that you guys, I'm sure, train on that a lot of people don't know is your placement. So if there is a home invasion, what does my room look like? So, for example, my room is, here's my room, here's my son's room. So if somebody comes into my bedroom door and I fire on them, my son's behind them, behind a wall.
Yeah, correct.
So now I have a plan where...
A wall that bullet's going through.
Right. And where do I keep my weapon? So I know my entry and exit points. Yep. So I have a plan where when I get up and I grab my weapon, I go to my closet because now my entry point is this way and my firing area is this way. That's the outside of my house. My son's room is behind me. So I understand that placement.
People need to know
have
that
a plan.
for sure.
And that is something you guys go through with people, right? Like how to, not just how to clear a house, but how to protect a house.
Correct. So clip one, I'll put this out there, like nobody should ever be clearing their house in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So that is something we hear all the time. You know, like you hear a bump in the middle of the night. I hear a crack in the middle of the night. And guys, so I got my shotgun, I got my pistol, and I go and I clear my house. We don't teach the fundamentals of house clearing for people to clear their house intentionally to try to find a bad guy. We teach the fundamentals of house clearing for you to make it to the things that matter most to you in life so you can consolidate yourself together and then call a reaction team, i.e. the police, while you barricade yourself and wait for help.
Yes. Yeah.
So having the ability and the understanding how to properly clear on the fly, to hastily clear on the fly in order to get to my child, in order to get to my wife, in order to get to my grandmother, in order to get to wherever, so I can consolidate the things that matter to me in life. Not your diamonds, not your fucking gold.
Cares about that.
I don't give a shit about.
Cares
I'm talking about
about
something that's got a heartbeat.
Yes. Yeah.
So once I have the things that have a heartbeat in my home, consolidated and safe, my clearing is done. I get those. I barricade myself in the room. I get the cops on the line.
There it is.
I have my weapon system oriented towards the potential threat area, meaning the entryway to the door. I keep 911 on the line, live the entire time. Police are on their way. I'm dictating to the operator, this is my location in my home. I have a weapon. I am barricaded. I have my wife. I have my kids. I have everybody with me. And you wait.
Yep.
And you just
Defense
wait.
mode.
In defense
Yeah.
mode. Right?
Hunker down. Do your
And you
thing.
hunker down and you wait.
Yeah, that's the best approach for sure. What about, what do you suggest to people that maybe are conceal and carry and they get robbed downtown and you're with your family or whatnot? Do you engage? Do you give them everything and just wait? Like, how do you...
It's always de-escalation of force to the maximum,
Okay.
to the utmost of your ability. So is your wallet worth potentially dying? Because it's just like a knife fight. You know what's the number one rule of knife fighting? You're going to get cut.
Yep.
No matter what. I don't give a shit who you are. You get in a knife fight, you're going to get cut. Same thing with a gun. You pull a gun out, the probability of you getting shot
Increases
drastically.
Yeah.
So if a guy comes up and he's somewhat... Demeanor is everything. That's where force on force and escalation of force and understanding human characteristics and psychological behaviors and all that stuff come into play. And you get in-depth with training on that stuff. However, if a guy just comes up and says, give me your wallet. Take it, man.
Get out of here.
Now, if a guy comes up and he's pistol whipping your kids and fucking beating your wife and then fucking now
or kidnapping.
Now I'm in a situation where I'm having to, because you don't know if that guy's going to beat him to death. You don't know. So now you're in a position where that
him or you,
that response has to be escalated. But so
and the castle doctrine too in Missouri as well. If somebody reaches in your car,
same thing. Yeah. So
we don't mean to scare anybody. It's just what's going on if something happens. Like,
awareness isn't fear.
No,
right?
exactly.
Like it's different.
That's exactly right.
Situational awareness will negate
awareness.
99% of you ever having anything happen to you.
Take my wallet, take my phone. I don't give it. Take my car. We'll deal with it.
Remember that old country song? It's like,
oh yeah, no,
take my wallet.
Don't take the girl.
Don't take the girl.
Yeah, don't take my wife.
Yeah,
Tim McGraw.
Yeah. Is that Tim McGraw?
Yeah, Tim McGraw.
So another thing you guys do is that I think is important. You're talking about taking Kate down there and stuff. And something I find really fascinating is you train people how to be aware when they're traveling.
Yep.
Right? And these are situations like, let's say that you guys go to Barbados for the weekend, right? And you're doing something there. So you guys
Can we afford that, Kate? Barbados? Yep.
Barbados is in the that's in the budget. So you guys train people how to. Now I won't speculate on what you call it, but there's a type of training that you guys do for people when they're traveling,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, it's just traveling in dangerous environments. So, I mean, there's simple things people can do that a lot of people don't think about, like just registering with the Department of State to the country you're going to, letting the embassies know that I'm in country, and then signing up for the alerts that come from Department of State website that you sign up for. Like something as simple as that. I say a good 75% of the population don't even think about when they leave, but that is one.
I would say 95%, to be honest.
Probably. I'm being generous to the.
Yeah, you're in a military bubble. Maybe that would.
But something as simple as that, any major threat to a U.S. citizen in the particular country you're in, just registering for that while you're in country, you'll get notices of it on your apps, on your phones. Plus, if something does happen and you disappear, there's documentation with the Department of State at the embassy that you're there and where you were at. So,
and there's a rating system that's public that you can look at too, 1 through 4,
100%
about how to travel.
Absolutely, and all that stuff's on that site, on that app.
Yeah.
And then you get to more in-depth things. I mean, we do counter abduction classes and stuff to where if you do get kidnapped, something bad happens, where you learn how to pick handcuffs, get out of zip ties, learn how to get out of duct tape, learn how to do.
Not alien abduction,
dude. We need to go back down. Like, what are we doing here?
But I mean, those
we have a lot to learn.
But that's but those things are no different than weapons training. Like I said earlier, you don't use a weapon unless you absolutely have to.
Exactly.
And the chances of a civilian being in an engagement where they need a weapon is less than 0.0001.
So what? At least you know.
But it's an insurance policy.
Probably lesser percentage than making an NHL, which is darn hard.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's like 0.0004.
What city are we in?
It is.
What city are we in?
Yeah. Well, our statistics are a little skewed.
We're not
in, city lines, county lines.
St. Louis is hardcore. Like, let's be honest here, okay? We want to pump it up. We want St. Louis to make money. St. Louis is hardcore. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You watch the news every goddamn day. You want to read the paper. You see things. So it's just nice to know that you're prepared if shit goes down.
Of course.
That's it. No big deal.
Yep.
That's it. And it's good for society too that you know, because you know what? You see a lot of accidents where people don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, I'm shooting them. No, at least you know. You barricade. Find your family. You barricade. There's a lot to learn. And he'll teach you, by the way. Of course, you want him to.
Yeah. Well,
and we have a lot to learn.
Guys that are better than me.
Yeah. And I jokingly said abductions, but not alien abductions. But that does bring me to a point.
Oh God.
That I would like to know. Don't act like you don't love this stuff.
No, I know. And listen, they're supposed to. Alien, like, I don't know.
I wanted to ask Keith because he probably knows stuff we don't know.
How it expands every day. Like, there's got to be some sort of alien form
but
out
the
there.
government, they said
I
they
believe
exist.
there is. I mean, go to Area 51. You
anything
talk
we
to Bob Lazar. I
Can
don't
you talk about anything?
I don't know anything. I have personal opinions.
What's your personal opinion?
But I don't know. I think it's naive to believe that we are the only living organism in the universe. So, do I believe that they're little green men that are sneaking around? And
No, I think they're great.
Technology that we don't even know what it is.
I think they're great.
They're sneaking around in skinwalker suits and doing all that kind of stuff. Like
Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah.
Where the FBI was involved?
Exactly.
Very bizarre.
So, I don't know.
My boy knows all about that.
However,
I talks about that stuff constantly.
However,
You get the Skinwalker?
I do believe that there's it's
how can you not?
naive to think that we're the only living thing in the universe.
Yeah, are you kidding? Are they controlling it? Not there yet.
Yeah.
But are they there?
Yeah.
How can there not be?
Yeah.
We're the only one. We're the only Goldilocks zone. Sure. I don't know. It's interesting nonetheless.
Have I personally seen one? No.
Well, you probably know a lot of Air Force guys that have seen weird things that are flying their jets around. They're like, they made a right angle there.
I like
How
driving.
the fuck did that happen?
I like to think of them
You
as driving.
you could see these guys are like, I don't know what that was. We're trying to follow it. You see it all the time. Are they lying? I don't know. There's a lot of AI out there too, but this is old school footage that we've known for a long time. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
We can learn a lot shooting the shit. We need to go down to Asymmetric Solutions, go by a campfire, have some whiskey, and shoot the shit and have another podcast.
Exactly what we should do.
With all the shit kickers.
Exactly what we should
Yeah.
do. We should go up
I'm
to the
down.
top of the hill to Memorial. We can.
Let's go. I want to hike up there. Let's hike up there, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
6,500.
We talked about that last time.
Yeah, it's one of the highest elevation points in Missouri.
Let's go.
It's a Civil War site up there.
You guys should check this out. I'm telling you, man. This place is unbelievable. It's great. You'll learn a lot. It's a beautiful area. Check it out. Asymmetric Solutions. I'm telling you right now.
Is there any movies that you come to mind? Because this is something I told him I want to talk about. Yeah, well, they come to mind about military forces doing things that may be a little bit askew, or you always wonder, like, how realistic is that? Do you like any of those?
there's lots of movies out there that all have a sprinkle of truth to them, but Hollywood gets a hold of everything.
Sure. But I know he likes to watch this stuff. So
Well, some of the documentaries, how about the Bin Laden documentary on Netflix, the new one? Listen, I thought I read every goddamn thing about Bin Laden and what went down and all those attacks and fucking, they were attacking goddamn London to their boom, all those bus bombs, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And how they captured him. He was in, Islamabad or whatever the hell it was, in a little wealthy area. Did you watch the documentary of Bin Laden? Not all the bullshit movies or anything like that, but the documentary seemed pretty legit. Talking to my other military buddies, man, they said it was pretty legit. I don't know if you
I have not watched the documentary.
you got to watch it, dude.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Just I'm curious. I want you to pick that fucking thing out and let me know.
I'll watch it.
You know,
I didn't even know they launched a new one.
Oh yeah, Netflix, dude. Check
Yeah.
it out. Pretty cool.
Netflix.
I'll check it out.
There's a Netflix.
Yeah. It's not a Hollywood driven. It's just a documentary. It's pretty.
When I do have downtime, I'm either watching something completely brainless, popcorn, or a documentary. That's 90% of what I watch.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Or how the men built America.
Factories of War.
Yeah, you like that?
How America
Channel's
yeah,
badass.
That was a good one.
How
See,
America
Andrew
was built.
Jackson won last night.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He had to go crawl through the swamps.
Andrew Jackson was fucking mad.
Fucking man, dude.
Yeah.
Now he just the Trail of Tears could be a problem.
That's the way presidents should.
He was fucking
These are legit.
badass.
Well, the first 15 were all picked from prowess, the same way that people have been picked for thousands of years prior. Is they were generals or they commanded something.
Well, Andrew Jackson was a hillbilly boy.
Yeah,
He was a hillbilly boy.
Yeah.
Most guys had family members that built up and they had.
They weren't Yale boys.
Andrew Jackson was a hillbilly boy.
Yep.
He crawled up and figured it out because he was a good military, leader. So
I think
I don't know.
go
I
back
could pick
to
your
that.
brain for fucking hours, man.
Yeah.
We need to chill down there, make a fire. Once it gets a little chilly, let's go down there and do our thing. We'll fucking we'll film, have some whiskey,
Yeah.
show the whole property. I don't know if
Easy.
you can do that. All right.
Yeah,
Easy.
cool. Yeah, I'm
Too
down.
easy.
All right.
This heat's brutal for today.
Yeah, right now it's brutal.
Let's wait till fall.
Fall.
The bugs are away.
Yeah.
Well, maybe camp out there
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
It is.
Corey, can you handle that?
Run out some deck cord, blow some shit up.
I grew up in
Corey's. I'm like,
Cam has this idea that I'm so
No.
gentle.
I know you are a gentleman, and I like you for that. I don't. Not everybody can be hardcore.
There's difference.
We
tough.
can't all be hard.
Listen, there's difference between tough. I'm not claiming to be tough. I'm just saying outdoorsy.
You're
I go
outdoorsy.
do stuff
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm
claim
not
to be-
chirping, baby.
I'm far removed.
I'm not
from trying to be
chirping,
a
baby.
tough guy.
Listen, I work in radio. Okay.
Yeah.
These guys I work with are as fancy as you can get. They don't know what
Guys,
the
you have
fuck.
pads on.
They never left Clayton. They haven't left Clayton yet.
So, all right. Is there anything else that you'd like to know in closing before we?
Well, we're gonna do another episode.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get down and dirty. We're gonna get Twister out there. We're gonna be in the middle of nowhere and have a little bonfire. And I think
Yeah, I think we need to have like you're
that's
saying
fun.
a more casual conversation about
Let's
stuff.
do it.
Fun.
I have a lot more to talk about with him. We don't have all day.
And then maybe a hyper clip too, a little more action stuff. We divide those two things up. Let's have a conversation.
We'll
Let's
do
do the action separately.
whatever they want to do. Let's let them decide and figure it out. Corey, we'll do everything, baby. Awesome.
We'll do everything. All right, so catch us down here. Look, we're going to put a link in the description here for Asymmetric Solutions. What are some of the other services you provide, though, just before we kind of wrap?
Yeah, so the main pillars. Military training is the primary, focus of the company. So we got the military training sector, law enforcement training sector, security sector,
Female self-defense?
female self-defense part of civilian training.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
Corey.
so we do have a female-specific self-defense courses. We also have basic self-defense courses, but as you guys know, sometimes women don't want to be training with men, so we do have.
How dare you exclude? We're the same. What are you talking about?
And yeah, I'm not really the same. All you out there take that however you want. Not the same.
We're not the same.
Not the same. Very different.
I think people know that.
And there is obviously intricacies specific to females, and they carry a purse versus a wall, what they wear, blah, blah, blah. So there's specific things when it comes to those courses, which is why there is a female one as well. But yeah, the military sector, law enforcement sector, security sector, civilian training sector, and then our research and development and testing sector are the pillars of the company.
Right on. So
There's
check
a
out
lot
the
going
link.
on.
Check out the link below. Check out Conversations. Cam's got several other shows too. Look him up. Watch his stuff. Give Asymmetric a look. And we will catch you next time. Keith, thank you so much for joining us,
man.
my brother.
Appreciate
You're
you.
the man. We're going to do another one of these bad boys soon. You'll see.
Catch you guys later.